How y'all doing today? My name's Ayin, and today's topic of discussion is going to be wait for opinions when you're asked. Wait for opinions until you're asked. Wait for opinions until somebody asks you for them. I think about this because I think of a couple of scenarios. I think about one instance in particular where a friend was talking to me. He said he was talking to a coworker, and with the coworker, they were disclosing all these issues that they were going through. So he started to give advice, started to give his opinions up on it. So the funny thing about this, in which he laughed about and I laughed about too, because it was an honest interaction. I mean, it was an honest thing that went down, and I'm glad he was mature enough to accept it and realize it, and then share it with me, and me be able to accept it and realize it. They were discussing these issues that they were having, and he began to give his opinions on things. So the person, I guess they let him talk or whatnot, and they ended up telling him, "I didn't ask you for your opinion." And when he was sharing the story with me, the thing that made it funny was is because he said, "I ain't I thought about it." He was like, "They were right. They didn't." So I thought that was really cool. It was awesome, just even with his attitude of even being able to realize, because most people probably would have. It would have turned into an altercation. They might not even shared that story because they probably would have been embarrassed because one, they were put in check. Two, altercation ensued. So they didn't want to share that ugly situation. But I thought that was awesome. Another thing that brought me to this is because this is something that I mentioned in another video where I was talking about when you're dealing with people who are really opinionated. And it's funny because they kind of hide behind that title of, well, I'm opinionated. So, I'm going to have an opinion. And that's fine. You can have opinions. But it really goes beyond being opinionated. It starts to go into a territory of like overbearing, or somewhat bullying. They use that as an excuse to kind of hide behind saying like some disparaging comments, things that they really know that they shouldn't be saying, and they hide behind it. Well, I'm opinionated. So with these people, when you're dealing with these people, when you know how that they operate, you know how they operate, you know how you need to deal with them accordingly. Case in point, had an example where I had a friend where they acknowledged something that I did that was good, but in the same breath, when they acknowledged it, it was as if they only half acknowledged it, left the question open for me to. They made a statement, and the way that the statement was made, it was left for me. The only thing left for me to do is go, well, what did you think? Or what did you? Or would you? And so they left this like uncomfortable silence. And the thing was, I already knew what they were doing because I know who they are and how they carry on. So I didn't bite. I was quiet. So then it forced their hand to say what they were going to say. And it was funny because the follow-up comment, since I didn't open that door for them to be so-called opinionated, the follow-up comment was another seemingly compliment that had strings attached. And if you follow my videos, you would have already seen that video where I'm talking about compliments with strings attached. It's really where you're giving a compliment, you're trying to give that, but it has strings attached with something disparaging or something off kilter or just something that you really shouldn't be saying. So when you recognize that you're dealing with compliments with strings, you can know, I don't want what you're selling. So you can keep the compliment, you can keep the strings attached, and whatever is at the other end of the rope that you try to smack me or surprise me with. So in saying that, like I said with a lot of the other videos and anything that I say, you always take things to yourself first. So when I'm thinking about this topic, wait before giving your opinion. It's a lot of times where people are talking and they're telling me things, and maybe it's registering through my head. Because we all do this. You're just like, okay, you're putting yourself in the shoes. Man, maybe that might not have been something I necessarily would have done, or maybe I would have done something different. But I'm not like itching to tell you on, hey, man, I think that you're misstepping this way. You really should be, doing this and that and the other. But you have some people that do. They just can't wait to give their opinion. And you don't want to end up in a situation Just like my friend was sharing up with me, where a person tells you, look, I didn't ask for your opinion. I know it's been situations where people have found out certain things that I was doing that were positive, and it was funny because they acknowledged, oh, you didn't let me know that you were doing this, that, and the other, and I'm like, yeah, didn't even think of, and didn't even really think of it. Didn't really even think of you in that manner because I'm used to dealing with you in a certain type of way. So if they, and then I've had two where they've kept on pushing, and then you would have to just like tell, look, man, I didn't want to hear no criticism up on it. I'm just doing what I was doing because I didn't want to hear whether it was good or bad because what I was doing it was nothing to take away from it bad. So I just did what I had to do. Who are you? I don't have to run stuff by you. But see, to me, it's almost like a person trying to try to get in on things. It's almost like they know that you set them outside of certain situations. They know that they're not a part of, and then they just want to be involved in everything because they are opinion. It's almost like they're wanting to feed that ego, since they know that they're not really getting it from you. And it's funny. It really is a trip to see those things take place when you deal with a person that's opinionated, but you're not really giving them an opportunity to be opinionated because you're not sharing things for them to have opinions on, or they're just general things out there. And it's just like, since they're opinionated, they're itching to criticize you, judge you in some way or somehow. And the thing is, you have to be aware of these people, how they come across, and the things that open doors and allowing them to be opinionated. So, in case you missed it, I'm going to say it again. With the same thing with that example, with this person sharing this, coming to me about something that I was doing and leaving the question hanging, that basically would have led me into asking, well, what did you think? Remove those words. If you don't want an opinion on something, don't ask somebody what they think. Be mindful of the things that you're telling people. But if you do, one of the things that I had learned long ago in as keeping goals or things that you're trying to accomplish to yourself, you only have to be in those situations. If you do those things of keeping, personal accomplishments of, things that you're trying to excel and do, because you already know who you can share these things with and you can't. If you do that, that already takes a lot of the fight out of it there. Then the only thing you have to deal with is when they're coming to you when it's public knowledge that you're doing something. Then you'd be in a cool place because you done already achieved your goal. Then who cares? Who cares about what your criticism you're saying? What are you going to give me and I've already accomplished the goal? What deconstructive criticism are you going to give me and I've already accomplished the goal? Because you're not giving constructive criticism. You're giving deconstructive criticism. Now, if it's something I could do better, that's awesome. See, you got to be big enough and be in tune with yourself to know that you don't want to become pig-headed. I'm just talking about on things that you know that you're doing and it's right and it's for you, because you don't have to explain yourself to people. So that's my take on it. I just wanted to share that with you about the negativity and things that you may receive from others. In the meantime, check out a book that I've written. Kilimanjaro is the Arithmetic of Family Communication. I'll leave a link in the description box. You can get the book on Amazon, an ebook or paperback copy. In the meantime, if you have questions, hit me up at ayin.kilimanjaro@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer your question with a video. Okay? In the meantime, stay encouraged. Avoid being discouraged. I'm Ayin. You have a good one.